tennis. So maybe I'll get myself into another controversy here, but I think we should absolutely allow coaching in tennis for young kids. Absolutely. There should be support especially for kids under 10, under 12, under 14 who are they're not fully mature yet emotionally and psychologically, and they should have support from coaches during battle. They shouldn't be out there for 2 hours without any emotional support from either from their parents or a coach. I just don't think it's from a psychological development point of view, from a human development point of view. I don't think it's healthy for young children to be out there battling that long without some emotional support from a parent or a coach, and not to mention, the tennis side of it. I'm speaking from a parent with 3 children, and from a human development point of view, from a psychological point of view, from a mental, emotional point of view, and you start to see coaching is coming into the game. You see it in Davis Cup, you see it in Laver Cup, you see it on the WTA tour now. I think it's ridiculous that we send a 10-year-old out there for 2 hours, and the parents aren't allowed to say a word. The kid's emotionally self-destructing out there. Lisa Stone has said the same thing on her show, her podcast, or she's implied sort of the same thing. That's crazy that parents can't talk to their kids. It's ridiculous. What other sport do we have kids who parents can't talk to them during a competition? You can't talk to your kid while they're out there battling. What if your kid's crying? Your kid's having an emotional breakdown. Your kid is being damaged psychologically from the trauma of a match, and you're not allowed to go out there and talk to them. It's ridiculous. There should be breaks where parents can talk to their kids. There should be coaching opportunities. I just think it's like, these rules. That's another rule that I see is completely nuts in tennis. We should have coaching, and kids shouldn't be calling their own lines. A kid, you take a teenager with college scholarship riding on it. They shouldn't have that temptation. It shouldn't be there. Responsible adults should be stepping in, keeping score, calling the lines, and if a kid is out there having a traumatic event emotionally, we shouldn't all be standing around the sidelines saying, "Oh, we can't talk to them." The rules are we can't even say anything. It's just not healthy. At the end of the day, it's not healthy for a young child, to be in that environment. That's my take on it. Robert Garrett says, I agree. Yeah, I'm glad you agree. A lot of people disagree, though. I get a lot of pushback. When I start talking about coaching for kids, and I start talking about kids not calling their own lines, all the traditionalists are going to come out, and they're going to say, no, that's not the way the game is, blah, 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 whatever. Think outside the box, people. Come on. Think about childhood development. Think about the emotional and mental capacity of a 10-year-old or an 11-year-old. You're putting them into the heat of battle. Tennis is already one of the most cutthroat sports because there's no teammates. You're out there all by yourself. It's already tough enough. But then to say that there can be no coaches or no parental involvement, I think is absolutely ludicrous, and it's not healthy. So people who say, well, it takes away from the toughness aspect of tennis. Tennis is tough enough. It is tough enough as it is. We don't need to make it that much more cutthroat. We don't have to up it that much, in my opinion. Tell me that I do a lot of boxing. I do a lot of MMA. And don't tell me those guys aren't tough. You get boxers go to see their coach every couple minutes after a round. Don't tell me those guys aren't tough. Give me a break. Don't tell me that you allow coaching. It makes the kids are going to get soft or whatever.